Morning, everyone. How are you all doing? I am extremely awake right now. I don't know if I can say it awake because I haven't slept in the past more than 14 hours. For like an hour and a half only I could sleep. I'm gonna check out in 2 hours, and I have a 7.5 hours flight back to Dubai. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I've done it in the past, so I'm counting on it that I'm gonna survive. Uh, First cup of coffee right here. So just a quick video about what I was doing before I became a cabin crew. My very first job was when I was 16 and a half. And I just finished school, and I just wanted some pocket money to, do some shopping or, hang out with my friends. So I started giving tuitions to school kids, like primary school kids mostly, or senior school, maybe class 8 and 9, but usually science and English, because there wasn't a lot of maths and science, till 10th, so I could handle it. Like after 10th, it became completely different. Anyway, so this I was doing till I was 18, which was a year and a half. And then when I was 18, my first job, actually, my first actual, technically, first job, I got in the same month I turned 18 in 2008. Wow, that was a long time ago, huh? Okay, so my second job, my first job was as a marketing executive with a franchisee of an animation center in Siliguri, my hometown. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, Mac Animations. It was pretty popular during those years. It was one of the franchisees in Siliguri, and I gave interview in the same, I think 3 days after I turned 18, because I was like literally desperately waiting to turn 18 so that I could start applying for jobs. I in fact applied for 2 jobs before I turned 18, and it was embarrassing when the HR was like, "Oh, you're not even 18, what are you doing here?" So one was for Jet Airways, and the other one was for the Oberoi Grand Hotel in Calcutta. So yeah, my salary in as a marketing executive was 3,500, which I would have got if I finished at least 1 month, which I did not. I left in, I'm guessing, around 11 days, because I couldn't deal with I don't know, like I was just too young, and I felt a little bit that because I was too young, some senior colleagues of mine were kind of like taking advantage of it, like bossing me around. And I was too young to kind of understand that, in a work environment, you have to be tactful, and, you have to learn how to deal with such situations. My first reflex was, okay, I need to run away from this problem. So that's what I did. I left that job, and then I applied for a car dealership as a receptionist. It was a Toyota dealership in Siliguri, and I worked there for 6 months. It was not bad. It was pretty good, actually. I was kind of happy because my salary was 4,500, which was more than what I was supposed to get in my previous job. And there was a little bit of bullying as well, from senior colleagues, because again, I was literally like still 18. And yeah, so I stayed there for 6 months, majorly because I wanted to make more money. So I applied for another car dealership, which was just next to Toyota. It was a Honda dealership. I went for interview during my lunch while I was still working in Toyota, and I got the job as a sales executive. So I was in the sales department. So mind you, I was hired to sell a car that I didn't know how to drive. So no wonder the dealership is closed now. They were hiring people like, girls in the sales department, thinking God knows what, who had no idea about cars, who didn't know the basics of a car, or how to drive and all that. So anyway, so I joined. That was my third job, and my salary increased to 6,000. my basic. And then I was told that because I was in sales, for every sale that I make, I would get 2,000 commission, which was yay, like in a month, if I sell one, I was going to make 8,000 rupees. In 2008, I was 18. I mean, that was big money for me. Well, surprise, surprise. I didn't last there much long, I guess 2-3 months maybe. And one of my senior colleague in that place was extremely negative. She was she was a big bully. And I just couldn't stand up to her, and I decided, I can't deal with this, and I quit. So, yeah. So, running. Well, after Honda dealership, I was looking for, I was still looking for jobs. But I was like, I don't know what kind of jobs, can I get where, people would be nicer to me. Anyway, FYI, there are no jobs like that in the whole world. So after that, I applied for another dealership, which was a truck dealership, but I was in the back end, so which kind of made more sense. All I had to do was, do some data entry, pick some calls, and, like sort out documents and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this job is fine. And I was pretty much the only person in the back end, along with another guy. So, and the salary became 8,500. I was like, yay, I don't even have to sell cars, and I'm all by myself here, and it's going to be a good ride. And guess how long I lasted there? Well, just about a month. Again, one of the senior female who was sitting on the other office of the same dealership, she was in the sales department. She did not like me, I guess. I don't know why. She spoke to the main owner, who was very close to her. They were friends. And then like that, I was just out. I was told by not by the owner, but by my boss, immediate boss, that okay, Jayashree, we are doing some cost cutting. We will pay you the salary for this month, but we don't need you anymore. I was like, okay, what can I do? So, well, that was my first, second, third, fourth job, and I was 19, I think now. In 1 year, 4 jobs, huh? So after this job, I got in touch with headhunter, the people who look for jobs for candidates. So I got in touch with one of those people, and he sent me in an interview. Again, it was like a private owner. He had multiple businesses, and he was looking for a personal assistant. So I was like, fine, I'll go give the interview, see how it goes. So I went, and the interview was going pretty okay. And I was feeling okay. I was feeling pretty confident that, okay, I'm going to get this job. Till the point where the owner, he was the interviewee, he told me actually that, I'll be doing a lot of travel with him, and that I'll have to handle his phones and, his personal itinerary, a lot of personal things, which at that point, I was kind of uncomfortable. I did not say it directly to him, but at the end of the interview, he was like, okay, you know what, just bring your documents the next day, and I will give you the offer letter. So I kind of got the job. I did not say anything to him about the creepy vibes that I got from him. I called my the person who set this interview up, and I told him that, it was kind of uncomfortable vibe. I did not like it. So he kind of like wanted to know what it was, but again, my confrontation problem, I couldn't be straight up about how I felt about the whole vibe from the guy who took the interview. Anyway, I guess it was one of those wrong turns that I was gonna make, but I stopped myself. When you're young and you're in a small town and you are a little bit ambitious, people kind of take advantage of you. So you need to be beware of that. So after that, I was like, okay, now I need to find a job where there are people of my age only, so I don't have to deal with senior bullies and creepy bosses like that. So then I applied for call center job, and I got the job in a domestic call center in Siliguri. And I lasted there for 6 months. and my salary was a little bit low, 4,500, and the shifts were 9 hours, and we used to really, we had to talk a lot. And basically we had to talk straight for 8 hours. There were targets, these mini calls to be done, and everything. And it was pretty intense, and the money was very less, but I was happy. I was working with my age people, most of the time 18, 19, 20 years old, girls and boys, and everybody is like either in college, or they are doing part-time college, or they're taking a break or things like that. So it was a very good vibe, and I really enjoyed working there, till I got my very first break with Go First Airways, which was then called Go Air. It was in 2011, June, yes, 13th June, I think, 2011. Yeah, how can I forget? So that was my joining date in Wadia complex in Worli, Mumbai, as a Go First training cabin crew. I worked for Go First for 2.5 years, and then I applied for Emirates out of nowhere, because once I became a cabin crew, I kind of I don't know, I never looked or thought that, okay, I should try for international airline. But anyway, as fate would have it, I applied for Emirates. I got through, but I had an ear infection just before the medical tests, and I failed the medical test. So I couldn't join Emirates, and my heart kind of broke. But just for the sake of, leaving Go First airline, I applied for SpiceJet. And thankfully, I got through SpiceJet. And yeah, I was in SpiceJet for almost a year before I got in touch with Emirates again, and they were kind enough to just directly let me sit for the final round, because they already had my details about all the rounds of interview that I did. And finally, in 2014 July is when I joined Emirates. I flew to Dubai 2 days before 26th of July, I think 24th. I landed in Dubai. It was a weekend and it was Ramadan. Before I came to Dubai, I had no idea how intense this whole 1 month was. What it meant to celebrate Ramadan. So anyway, this has been my journey, and it sounds like not too much, but but yeah, it was quite a lot, because while I was doing all these odd jobs in Siliguri, my small town, I sat for all the domestic airline interviews, and I got rejected. So if you are right now in a job that you think is small for you, and you're frustrated and you want to get that dream job of yours, it is it's literally going to happen if you just don't give up. Just keep sitting for every interview that is related to your field, that to the field that you really want to work. Don't give up. Pursue the skills that would help you to crack the interview of that particular field, where you want to work, where your heart is. So just believe in yourself, don't give up, and there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel. So all right, I'm gonna wrap up now, and I'm gonna finish my coffee here, and then get ready for my flight. So take care, people. Lots of love, and see you next time. Bye.